Hi, and welcome back if you're a return viewer, and welcome if you're a new viewer. This is Knitting at Tiffany's, and I'm your host, Tiffany. Today's episode is called SSK Recap, and I just got back, actually not just, but a few weeks ago got back from SSK, and when I got back I ended up getting a nasty summer cold, so I haven't recorded since then. So this is my first time recording since I've been back. SSK was phenomenal. This year, there was probably almost 3/4 new people and a quarter of us that were, repeats from over the last 4 years. And it was a lot of fun to meet new people and to see your old friends, and it was a great time. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that in a bit. I'm going to talk about some other things first. So I just wanted to say there are worlds in an opal, and thank you. There's 151 members in the group. And thank you all for joining, and I hope you guys, please be active in the group. Ask me questions if you have any questions. I'm looking to do a Cal soon, actually. If you guys have any ideas, I'm always open for ideas. Let me know. So I'm going to start off with Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend, and I will talk about all my goodies I bought at SSK. So this was our SSK bag that we received with all our goodies in there, and I'm sure you've seen them maybe on other podcasts as well, so I really won't go through it too much. But one of my favorite things that we do get is, sorry, I'm opening it up because you won't be able to see it hopefully, is a tumbler, and we get different ones every year. So that's my SSK tumbler. And they're great, and I love them. And these ones you can put a straw in, so they're really good to use. Oops, sorry. And then I'm always about yarn. I don't opt in for fiber because I don't spin. I say not now, and people say never, but as of now, spinning is not my thing. So I knit. So this year it was Hazel Knits that did the yarn, and let me tell you, it's absolutely stunning. Look at that. Oh my god. It's purples and greens, and a little bit of grays in there, and it's just beautiful. It is their DK weight, Lively DK, and it's a 90% superwash and 10% nylon, and it's phenomenal. It's really, really nice. I'll have to figure out something to knit with this, because I only got one skein, and it's 275 yards, so I'm sure I'll be able to figure out something, but it's going to have to be something special. So this might stay in my stash for a little bit. And I always love getting the t-shirts. Beck designs the bag, and Beck also designs the t-shirts. If you don't know who Beck is Laura's sister, and she has her own company. She actually did my logo for me. She designed my logo, so she's awesome. I will put her information down here so that you guys can get in contact with her if you're ever needing any artwork for anything. She's phenomenal. This year's t-shirt is more like a baseball kind of t-shirt jersey, and I don't know if you can see it. There we go. And so I'm super excited. I think I have one from every year, so I love them. And they're great to have, and they're good quality, always good quality. Never a problem with them. And there's a couple other little goodies and things in there, so I won't show you guys everything because, as I said, I'm sure you've seen it all. But before I go on, I just wanted to say I did take 2 classes, and the 2 classes I ended up taking were both with Gail from Gail's Art, the indie dyer. She is phenomenal, talented beyond belief, and super creative. I give her so much respect for what she does. If you've never dyed yarn or anything like that, if it's just regular yarn or gradients or self-striping, the amount of work that goes into it is incredible, like absolutely incredible. So I took a microwave dyeing class with Gail and a gradient dyeing class with Gail, and I had so much fun. And I took it more for fun. I don't see myself ever becoming a dyer. And my favorite was actually gradient dyeing. I prefer to gradient dye than to work on regular yarn and come up with that. But when I was gradient dyeing, we were doing mini skein kind of things. So it was not like I was gradient dyeing one big skein of yarn. But I'm assuming it's the same kind of way because you can do it and then it just flows through, so it'd be really nice. So the microwave dyeing class, I do have a skein of yarn, I just don't have it here with me, my bad. But I did do up a scarf, and this is a silk scarf that we did. And so basically, I just dripped dye all over it, and it's all in my colors. And so, yeah, I love it. It was great. It was fun. It didn't take long to do. It was super interesting. And as I said, maybe I do it once again or something like that, but I'd rather stick to, knitting, because I'm a slow knitter as is. So to add something else for me to do, I don't have that kind of time. Not with my workload and not with my home life. So I'd like to try to keep balanced between things I do. So let me get on to showing you what I purchased, and no judgment, okay? I don't think I went overboard as some of the other years. I think I was a little bit better this year. I bought things that I could use with other things I already have in stash, and except for one or two things. Because I have a lot of variegated yarns, and I know pretty much my color palettes, so it's either pinks, blues, grays. Pinks, blues, grays, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Sometimes you add purples, some blacks. I don't know if I have anything really outside of that, but that's usually my color palette. So I got, oh, and I'm sorry, it's going to crinkle because I have them all in bags. So I will try to be very uncrinkly if I can, to make not too much noise. I keep all my yarn in Ziploc bags, and I just photographed it all and put it up on my Ravelry page, because this year my girlfriend was like, hey, let's take our pictures of our yarn while we're at SSK, and then that way we have them, and we can just post them up. And what a great idea, because if I wouldn't have probably taken them, I probably would have never had them posted as of right now. So first is Sun Valley Fibers. Now I met Jeanette, I guess it's been 4 years now, when I first went to Camp Kip, and she had beautiful yarn back then. And she's the person, her husband makes the Yarn Buddies, who I love. And he makes the walnut Yarn Buddies. And if you haven't got one yet, get one. They're phenomenal, and they're so well made. And their customer service is excellent. So I ended up buying, Jeanette had a beautiful array of colors. And I found that they were more in my color range, and she had all different bases. So I actually got the MCN merino cashmere nylon base. I got it Dust in the Wind, which is a gray, and I'm sorry if you can't see that too well. It's a gray. And then I got Cornflower, which is a really nice blue. Now I got these because, as I said, I have a lot of a lot of variegateds, and when I'm looking for fingering weight yarns to do maybe a project where I want something that's solid and something that's gradient, I don't have the solids or the semi-solids. So that's why I bought these, so that hopefully they'll coordinate with some of the stuff I have, and I'll be able to use them with something I already have in my stash and make a larger project. The next thing I got, now, I never had a sock blank before. I've never knit on a sock blank before, and as you guys know, I don't make socks very often. Especially when you have such beautiful yarn. I hate to put them on your feet and then you wear them out, and then you have to basically either throw them out, repair them, and then once they're repaired too many times, you end up throwing them out. And for me, it's hard to spend all that time and then having to throw out a pair of socks. But you never know. I can do fingerless mitts, or maybe I will do a pair of socks with it. But I got a double knit sock blank from Chic Dreamery. Can you see your logo there? So if you can see, it's all the purples and pinks. Of course, it's totally my colors. And it's all the purples and pinks, and it is 463 yards. So there's a good yardage here. And it's a superwash in nylon, 75%, 25% nylon. And it's called the Berry Special Friends. It's the SSK colorway that she made up for SSK. And so I loved it. I've never knit with her stuff before, so this will be a first for me, and it will go in my stash now. I don't have any plans for it right now. But one day I will get to it. I promise, one day. So yeah, I love it. I know a lot of people tell you when you unravel them it gets very kinky, and a lot of people don't like to knit with the kink yarn. I have no opinion on that yet because I haven't done it. But I have heard that some people will unravel this and then roll it back up in a ball into individual balls so that will stretch out the yarn a bit, so you'll have less kink. I thought that was a great idea. So either way, I'm sure it'll be fine. I mean, I'm not one to rip out a lot of work that I do because it drives me nuts. And the fact that I spend so much time and I hate to rip back rows. But I mean, if you have to rip back a few rows, you deal with a kink yarn sometimes. And so some people do knit with it again. I guess for a few rows maybe it doesn't bother you compared to a whole project. But with it, you could also again wrap it up or roll it back up in your ball and use it from there, and that would help a little bit. Another indie dyer that I didn't get a chance to buy from last year. I was helping last year with one of the vendors, and so I didn't really get a chance to shop around, and when I went, unfortunately things were not there what I wanted for my colors. So this year I got into mustache yarns first, and Stacy had this amazing colorway called Modern. So this is going to be, I don't know if you can see the colors very well. There you go. So it has the pinks, and yes, there's a bit of yellow in there, and yes, there's a bit of peach, and they're not my colors, but you know what? It's self-striping and it knits up really nicely. She had a sample of it and I really liked it. And I'm going for a bright pink, and there's actually a bling to it. I don't know if you can see that. There you go. You can see a bit of the bling. So there's a bright pink, and that'll be my toes and heels, and that'll probably be the first time I'm ever doing a toe and heel. As I've always, my one pair that I've done self-striping was an afterthought heel. So this will be fun when I get to it. The other one I bought was Knitting in Color, and Sarah makes beautiful yarns and her colorways are awesome. This is one of her new ones, and I had to buy it because not only, of course it's a fingering as well, but not only is it fingering, it's on bling, and I love bling. So this is her colorway Constellation. Look at that. I love the colors in there. I mean, it's so pretty. So this is called Glam Rock Sparkle Sock, and it's a 75% superwash, 20% nylon, and 5%, or sorry, 20% nylon, 5% stellina, and it's 438 yards, and it's called Constellation. Love it. It has the pinks, the blues, there's purples. It's great. It's a great color remix. So that was my other one. Now, this one here was a purchase because I've been looking to make a project for a few months, and I couldn't find any yarn. And I went to our local fair that we have in the end of April, and I looked all over for something that I can make that Pearl Soho scarf with, and I couldn't find anything to make out of it. So when I was in New York, unfortunately I didn't get a chance to go to Pearl Soho. So I went to some other yarn stores, but I was always looking for something similar, and it was the colors and everything else. And so when I was at SSK, Heather, Highland Handmaids, who dyes beautiful yarn, and I've knit a lot of her yarns and love them all. I've knit her worsted and her fingerings, and it's been amazing. So I got Black Ash worsted. It's a 60% merino, 40% bamboo, and it's 300 yards in the frost colorway. Now, I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, you can see it. See, it has a little bit of gray and a bit of like a whitish cream. It's absolutely gorgeous. So this is going in that herringbone scarf from Pearl Soho, and that's what I'm going to knit this up with. So this is for an actual particular project. Can you believe that? Shocking. I actually bought something for a project, and that specifically will go for that. And I will probably start that sometime soon. I have a couple projects I'm working on right now, so I want to finish at least hopefully both of them before I start this. So that'll be sometime soon. My last buy was because I've heard amazing things about these guys, and their colors are absolutely stunning. They're more kind of, I guess, in the muted tones. They don't do a lot of brights or anything like that, which is fine with me. I had no problems. I love their colorways. It was so hard for me to pick. They're like a color because I loved so many of them. Sorry again for the crinkle. So I got 3 again, like a solid semi-solid colorway to go with colors I already have in stash, and these are all on a DK base. And if I don't have something to make, I know that I can do color work, and I can do a hat and maybe some mitts or fingerless mitts. So this is also their MCN base. Their merino, 80% merino, 100%, 10% cashmere, and 10% nylon. So the first one is I'm So Pretty, and of course it's a pink. You gotta love it. The next one is called Olympian Blue. That's such a gorgeous blue. And the third one is Titanium, and it's a really nice silver, but of course it's not coming out as, I'm sorry guys, it's not coming out as silver as I'd like it to come out. But it's a beautiful, it is a light gray silver, so it's not like a super bright silver or anything like that, but it's beautiful. So I have these three. Oh, it shows up a little bit better there. And it just depends on what I'm going to do with them, but I haven't thought about it yet. But I love them. They're so my colors. Again, pink, grays, blues. I'm so predictable, aren't I, sometimes? But they're my colors. I love them. So I had that. That was everything I bought in yarn. No judging. And then I always get from Amy Beth, she does the yearly SSK bag with the little tag, and there's her tag there, SSK 2015. And this was one of the colors this year for her prints. And her bags are great. I love using them. And they have a handle. So for me, this is great because of my nails. I could just pull the zipper open and closed, and it works perfectly. The other bag, again, it's color. I love color. Actually, I love the color I love. So this is another bag from her. Oh, it's not coming up. I apologize. It's not as, it looks more yellow, but it's more of a taupey gray color in between here, and then these are all the turquoises and blues, and I don't know if you can see that better. It's a little bit on the yellow side. I apologize. I think it's my lighting today. I've tried to have natural lighting a bit, but it's a little bit on the grayer side here today. It was nicer earlier, but unfortunately, I was working today, so I didn't get a chance to record earlier. So those were all my purchases at SSK, and those are Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend. Can't go wrong with it, honestly. I mean, they'll probably go in my stash, and as I said, the ones from Highland Handmade I will use this year for sure. I'm trying to be better at when I do buy yarn, which I have to say I've been really good this year, and I haven't really bought much yarn besides SSK. Before that, I think I bought 1 or 2 skeins the whole year, so that's been pretty good for me. I'm trying to work at a stash, so when I work at a stash and my stash gets lower, then I can, you know, buy something new. At least I'm getting rid of 1 or 2, and I can buy 1 or 2. But SSK is a whole different ballgame because I don't get to see these indie dyers. Living in Canada, our shipping fees are astronomical, and right now the dollar is 30% less than a US dollar. So our 70 cents Canadian is like $1 US. So for all of you out there that live in the US, buy from all your Canadian indie dyers right now, because it's almost like a 30% discount you're getting. It's crazy. So that's why I kind of shop at SSK, because between the exchange rate and the shipping, I mean, sometimes a $24 skein of yarn can end up costing me $40. So I have to be at least, you know, somewhat cost effective, and you know, buy something that when I do see it, or when I travel, sometimes I'll buy yarn then too, because of, again, cost effectiveness. So let's move on. Diamonds in the Rough. So Diamonds in the Rough are things I'm working on right now, and I'm working on 2 projects currently. I do have whips that probably are a little older, but sometimes I put them down. I get, especially socks. I don't know if it's I get bored of them, if I get tired of them. I know my hands get sore from knitting on such small needles, and I knit really tight, so the tensions and the stuff like that on my hands hurt. So the current projects I'm working on, and which I will be finishing, one of them is Favorite Scarf Ever. That's what it's called. And this is the Three Waters, I should have it in here. This is the Three Waters Farms, and this was the Honky Tonk colorway. So it's an 80%, 20% super merino nylon mix, and it's a 400 yards. So I don't know if you can see that. It's more minty. That green is more of a minty green. And the scarf that I'm working on is, it's like a chevron kind of scarf. I don't know if you can see that. There's the bottom of it. So yeah, more minty, a little bit more minty than that, I think. So it's really pretty. It's knitting up really nicely. It's a quick, easy knit. The pattern actually calls for you to knit it halfway, and then like not cast it off, but I guess put it on stitch holders and then knit up the other side, so that both of these V's on here, like they go downwards. So both sides would be going downwards. I'm not that picky. Honestly, it won't bother me. It's a scarf. You're gonna wear it. It's gonna flip upside down. You're gonna have it, you know, on the back side when you're wearing it. It's a scarf. It doesn't have to be perfect that way. It's not a sweater where it has to always show on the one side. So I'm fine. I'm actually gonna just knit and keep knitting until my yarn's over with, and hopefully not have to play too much yarn chicken and knit right till the end of it. So I'll have a nice long scarf that I could wrap around me maybe a few times. And then I probably will have to just once after I soak it, I'll lay it out and maybe pin it the odd little bit just to give it some of that extra width. But I'm loving it. It's such a great, easy, mindless knit. I knit it up when watching TV, so that I don't even have to follow the pattern. It's already in my head, so it's great, and loving it. And that, sorry, I'll let you know who that pattern is by. That pattern is by Lisa Bruce, and it is on Ravelry. There you go. Lisa Bruce. It's also in my Ravelry page, and this was actually a free pattern, so it was even better. And I love when people offer free patterns. I think it's really nice if you get to knit something from them. If you like them and they have paid patterns, you'd go back and buy a pattern for sure, because you know the way they write up a pattern is something you'd understand. It works with you. You understand it makes sense when they do it. It's well written, and her pattern is great, so I really am enjoying that. The next item I'm working on is called Objects Below. It's a scarf stole kind of thing, and I might be a little crazy because it's my first lace pattern that I'm doing lace on both sides, and I've never yeah, I guess I've never really done lace on both sides. I've done patterns where, like lace patterns, but on the other side it's just like you purl back. And this one actually is not only purling, there is stitches I have to do. So I gotta really pay attention. Can't talk to anybody. Can't listen to a podcast. Can't watch TV. This is a concentrate on your knitting project. I started it just not long ago, and I started on the plane, thinking no problem, I'll plug in my headset, I won't pay attention to anybody, and I'll knit away, and you know, it'll be all by myself. Well, on the way back on my trip, there was a gentleman sitting beside me that was talking to me, and I was trying to knit and trying to, you know, concentrate on my lace, and I was not trying to be rude, but I'm like, come on dude, I'm busy and I can't really talk and do this at the same time. But so I made a mistake, but I fixed it, and you guys know me. It doesn't have to be perfect. No one's going to see it except for me, because I'm wearing it. And honestly, it's lace. I don't think I'll ever knit anything perfect with lace, so I'm okay with it. Now, I don't remember the name of this yarn. I don't know if it's in my project notes, but it's a rayon yarn. Yeah, it's not in my project notes yet. See, I'm so bad. I didn't even enter this in. But it's silver and it's bling. See, there's bling. I love it. It's exactly what I wanted. It's, I think, like 560 yards or something like that. It's crazy. And honestly, to knit with it, it's fun. I mean, I have no problems knitting with it. It wasn't anything that was, you know, weird because it was rayon or anything like that. And so let me show you. There it is. There's my whole lace pattern. That's as far as I gotten when I was on the plane. So since then I haven't knit on it. I've been knitting on that other scarf, but it's pretty. I think it's pretty. it just keeps kind of repeating itself, and so it's not bad. I've gotten better with it. As you can see, I have lots of stitch markers in here. And they're just simple stitch markers. I didn't want anything dangling to get caught in the lace because some of these stitches I actually have to fiddle around with the stitch markers and the stitch, so I didn't want them to get tangled up or anything. It just made it easier. But I'm really liking it. As long as I have peace and quiet, I'm liking it. It's a fun knit, and it's something I'm wanting to knit for a long time. It's a paid pattern, Objects Below by Rachel Henry. And I'll show you that. Let's see. There you go. I'll get you a bigger picture so that you can see it. It's really, I think it's a beautiful pattern, and for me that's all that counts. It's my opinion. Because I'm making it for me. It's not for anybody else. There you go. Like, see how pretty it is? And it's something that I can wear now in the summer, in the spring, in the fall. It is something I could throw over a t-shirt or jeans or a dress. I wear a lot of more girly stuff in the summertime for sure, and a lot of more sleeveless or short sleeve or tank top, and I wanted something that I could wear with everything. So if it was a little dressier, that's why it has a bling in it. It has bling anyways because I love bling, and it was in the gray tone so that it can go with everything pretty much, and I didn't have to worry about it. And when I'm outside at night and it's cold out, I wanted something, or that can keep me warm a little bit. So I'm probably gonna have to block it out. Once after I soak it, I'll pin it to my board. And to me, it's not really blocking because I'm just gonna pin it there. And it will dry up, and it will be a little bit wider probably than what it is right now. It's not that bad, but it still has room to grow. And so, yeah. I don't know if I don't think I'll let the length grow because I have a lot. I don't even know if I'll use the whole ball of yarn for this because it's a lot of yardage. It calls for only 215 to 230 yards of a DK weight. So, I mean, my ball I think is about 500 something. So really I have way more than what I need, but I'm going to knit it up to a length that I like and I'll be comfortable with. So that'll be great. I'm looking forward to it. And if you guys haven't already, I'm just going to do a quick thing in here because this is my Bling Your String bag, and I love it. So this was part of my club shipment, and there's my stitch markers with the, I don't know if you can see the star. There's a star. So I call this my bag jewelry. The stitch markers on here, I never take them off my bag, ever. I don't use them. They are typically there just to be jewelry for my bag. I do have other stitch markers from Bling Your String that I use for my projects, and I love. Her stitch markers are phenomenal. They've never, ever, ever fallen apart on me or anything like that. I have ones from about 4 years ago from when I met her and I started purchasing from her. They're so well made. I love them, and I have all different sizes too that I use, and it's my favorite. But the bags are amazing, so I wanted to show you that. And there's my handle. I know her club's open right now, so if you haven't ever had a Bling Your String club shipment, go get one. Here is her website address. Go sign up. There's a form you fill out. She customizes it completely to what you like. So if you're one of those people that like Harry Potter, she'll do Harry Potter. If it's flowers, she will do a specific flower for you. If you're a bookworm, she'll do something with books. My theme was all, the superheroes. So I had this, and I had my other bag was, I think, my Superman bag, and I believe one was my Dumbo bag. So I am joining up again this time because I have something in mind that I want to do, and I don't know if she can get it, but I'm sure she'll get the fabric because she's awesome that way. Honestly, she surprises people all the time. So Bling Your String is awesome. And if you guys haven't seen, this bag she made for me, I don't even know how many years ago, maybe 3 years ago. It is huge, and it has the big huge strap on here so that I carry it like a purse, and I love it. Normally it does have stitch markers on it. It's a custom stitch marker she made for me. There's fabric inside. It's a comic book fabric, but I can tell you that when my projects are, I can fit 2 project bags in here, okay? My wallet and my iPad, and this is what I carried around at SSK all the time, was this bag here, because it had a big strap. I could fit my iPad in it. It carried 2 projects for me and my wallet. So if we went out for dinners or I needed to go to a class, everything was with me at all times in one compartment, and I didn't have to carry a huge bag with me, which I really enjoyed. So these are awesome, and if you've never had one of these too, put this on your list. They are amazing, and they still have the handle on them, and then these unclip, so you can totally unclip it if you didn't want it on there. But I carry it honestly like my purse, and it goes everywhere with me, and I love it. So that's another thing I just wanted to show you guys for bling your string. Oh yeah, I have a finished object. So diamonds are forever. They're my finished object, and you guys might be actually completely surprised. Okay, where did I put my finished object? Oh, there it is. 4 years ago, at my first SSK, I purchased Desert Vista Dyeworks yarn, self-striping, and I was like, yeah, sure, I'll knit up socks. You know, it was probably at that time going to be my, I think, 2nd pair of socks. I've made 1 other pairs or 2 other pairs since then. So, but this was my first self-striping socks, and I have to tell you, I love knitting with her yarn. These socks, I did the Afterthought heel. Leslie from the Knit Girls, she has a tutorial on how to do an Afterthought heel, and so I copied it to a T, followed her directions and everything. It was amazing. I was perfectly done. She explains it so well and shows you so well that I didn't even stumble or anything. It was done perfectly to what she said. I just don't know how to measure properly for my feet, and my socks are a little bit too long, but not like huge, maybe about 1/2 inch or so, maybe 1 inch too long, but really they're great for house socks. These are too pretty for me to wear in my shoes. And I love them. So these are Poodle Skirt is a colorway from Desert Vista Dyeworks, and of course I don't have my ends woven in, so people don't even start. So here's my sock. Look at it. It's awesome. I did a rounded toe. In my notes on Ravelry, you'll find who I use the pattern for the rounded toe. I really love the rounded toe. I have to tell you, it fits my foot a lot better. I really enjoyed knitting it. I didn't find it hard to do. So both my socks are equally done, and they match exactly. So the only thing is they're just a little bit long. One heel I have wonkier than the other, so we'll look at that one. Let's look at this one. So there's my Afterthought heel. It pretty much looks like my toe. It fits me really well, actually. I have to say I was really impressed with the way it fits. It's comfortable. I love the self-striping. It's white. Am I looking at it right? White, black, and pink and gray. Totally my colors again. So this is Desert Vista Dyeworks. Love, 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 love her yarn. If you haven't knit with it, go knit with it. It is really amazing. I'm so happy I finally got these done. It wasn't the sock that took me forever. I think it's been about, I knit the sock, I did the Afterthought heel, I knit all the way to the cuff, and I think I left it for 2, maybe 3 years. I didn't know how to pick up properly the stitches to do the Afterthought heel. Even though I watched the video and everything, I was very hesitant because I tend to drop those corner stitches. That's my biggest thing. I drop those corner stitches, and you know, it's hard to pick them up sometimes. So I was more nervous than anything, and so I put them in a bag, in my project bag, and I put them off to the side, and off to the side came to be like about, you know, a year or 2. So now they're done, and I have to weave in the ends eventually, and I'll be able to wear them around the house because they're not going in shoes. I don't want them to wear out. I love them so much, and they'll be great to wear around the house. So I'm really excited. So super excited for that. I think that's it. That's all I have to talk about today. I think it's been a little bit longer than expected, but it's okay. Thank you so much for watching Knitting at Tiffany's. I hope you come back again and watch me again. I really appreciate you guys out there. It's nice to meet some of you people in person at SSK who watched me. It was really nice to know that I do have viewers out there and I'm not just talking to myself to a camera. Thank you again, and happy knitting, and I look forward to the next episode. Bye for now.